Let's make a popsicle banner for summer fun with my kids. To make this, I'm going to use 2 pool noodles of different colors. By far the cheapest place to get pool noodles is Walmart. They are under $1 at Walmart. They are under $2 at Target, and Target tends to have better, wider variety of colors, but they are almost double the price of Walmart, so I usually go with the Walmart noodles. I'm putting this up in my kids' playroom for a last day of school sort of summer setup, but this would also be fun for a pool party, for a school room, if you're doing like a theme in your classroom, if you're a teacher. Like, there's so many possibilities here. We're gonna use twine, and I have a really big needle. I have a big needle with an eye big enough that the twine can go through it, and this is just like a big plastic needle. And then you're gonna want some of these big fat flat popsicle sticks. These are like double wide, and they're just, I use them for lots of different crafting, but you want something that will fit snugly in your hole of your pool noodle. All right, so we are going to be cutting the pool noodle into popsicles to make a banner. So the first step is to cut our pool noodle. And since I want all of my pieces to be the same size, I'm actually gonna make a really simple template. I'm just using a sheet of scrap paper. This isn't even a full sheet of paper. And I just have to decide how long I want it to be. So you want it to go on your popsicle stick and cover, let me do this one. You want it to go with your popsicle stick and cover it, have some stick hanging out the bottom, and have your popsicle sized so it fits. So like this would be too big, it would cover the whole thing. I want it probably about that high. So hold it up, you want about 2/3 of the stick inside the popsicle and 1/3 out, and then mark where it goes. You could also like measure, So I'm just gonna cut my scrap paper. So this is the height that I wanna cut my noodle into sections, and I'm gonna use that as my template. I'm gonna actually write it with a pen. And I'm just gonna cut off some excess. Okay, so I have this labeled really clearly so I can't mess it up. Let's see. All right, we're gonna use a cutting board. And I like to use a bread knife to cut noodles. It does a really good job. So another way. All right, lay out your noodle. Lay out your fancy dancy template. Line it up and cut. Perfect. And they don't have to be like perfectly all the same size, but this will make them about the same size. So it's gonna look like this. Cute, 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 but we're gonna have to add a little glue in there. So, repeat. All right, so now I'm gonna be adding the popsicle to the popsicle stick. Now in an ideal magical world, your noodle would fit right on your popsicle stick, but mine just don't quite fit right. The popsicle sticks are not quite big enough, which is a bummer. So check before you do this. Different noodles have different hole sizes, and yours might work just fine. But since mine won't, I'm going to use my trusty dusty hot glue, and you're gonna wanna apply hot glue on the really skinny edge, not on the flat face, because the flat face isn't gonna touch any noodle in there. It's just gonna be like waggling in the air, so that won't do you any good. Save your glue, just put it on the sides. We're gonna put it in there. Ta-da! Now just repeat like a lot. When you're doing this, make sure that your stick does not go all the way to the top. You want to leave at least 1 inch or 1.5 inches because that's where we're gonna string the string through. And if you have a stick in there, it's just gonna be a little bit harder to get the string through. You can still do it, but ideally you'd leave a little bit of a gap. So now we are just stringing these popsicles onto this baker's twine using my big plastic needle. Thread that through there. And then I'm gonna alternate blue, green, do whatever pattern suits you. You're gonna take your needle, make sure that your stick is positioned flat way forward, and you're gonna come in crossways across. Go about an inch down, make sure you're not hitting any stick. Push it through, just push it through firmly and confidently, and it goes right through, no problemo. And then you're just gonna repeat this until you are done with all of your little popsicles. And you could really involve your kids in this. I wouldn't let them mess with the hot glue or the bread knife, but you could definitely, once the popsicles are made, have your kids, even small kids, are really good at learning patterns. So if you're doing a pattern with your colors, have them hand you which one goes next, and you could really make this into an educational moment. I am just doing this to surprise my kids. I'm gonna do a little summer decorating in their playroom, so no involvement here, but that would be really easy and fun to do with this project. All right, all done. It was so easy.